Back, we're talking Lions, and not just our opinions. We want to be able to hear from you guys too. And there's a whole lot of things on the docket, but obviously the main topic is the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes going to bolster things on that offensive line. And we want you guys' thoughts on their signing of Tristan Colon. And I've seen a lot of different comments in the chat about it. Some funnier than others, and some of them straight to the point as it relates to how this impacts him. And we want everything. And if there's other stuff you want to call in on, because Justin raised up a very, very good point. And wonders if the Detroit Lions offensive line is still the king of the North as it relates. It used to be without fail. We knew that offensive line is special. It's elite. It's one of the top units in all of football. And now it is probably a little more questionable than over the last couple of years.
I mean, in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, we trust. So you got to kind of put faith in them as well, too. I think they're seeing Tristan Colon as someone that is a depth piece. It's good that you're signing him right now in week 2 of OTAs, especially given the news with Ragnow leaving as well, too. So he's going to be able to compete and have time to gel with, Jared Goff and a lot of this offensive line as well, too. I do like that the man is versatile and not only at center but guard as well, too. It all just depends on how things work out with the rest of the line. So I'm not going to lose my faith in him, although this is going to be a huge drop-off from Ragnow because no one compares to Frank Ragnow as it is. The time and the toughness that this man has put in, but still at the same time, we got to move forward and keep moving on, and hopefully, this can be a decent replacement.
The one thing, though, that I don't think me personally that I am freaking out about the offensive line. I refuse to live in a world where I can't mourn Frank Ragnow's loss for just a couple of days. I will not live in that world. That's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just acknowledging that Frank Ragnow was one of the best at his position for a very, very long time, and that it's going to be tough. That does not mean that I don't think this offensive line can be good. It does not mean that I don't think that they will gel as the season goes on and hopefully be at their best come playoff time. It's just Frank Ragnow was an all-time great Lion, and nothing can really prepare a team or even fans for that. Even if you try, it's still Frank freaking Ragnow.
And I'm not trying to freak out, and I'm not freaking out. I have faith that Hank Fraley is going to figure this out and make it so that the Lions' offensive line is ready to go. But when we're looking at an interior offensive line that lost one of the best centers in the NFL, a Pro Bowl left guard, and then a complete question mark at right guard, it is okay to have a little moment and pause that, okay, maybe this offensive line isn't as dominant as it has been in the last couple of years. That's okay to have. But I don't think anyone in this room is freaking out over the fact that the Lions offensive line won't be good. I think everyone can say that they're going to be good. It's just, are they going to be as great as they were?
We're
Are they
talking about
going
Super Bowl now?
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, we're talking about being the best of the best. Our offensive line for the last 3 years has been the best in football by a margin. Everyone in the league knew that our offensive line was the best offensive line in football. Now we aren't going to have that title as the unanimous best offensive line in football.
It was one of the top units in football, period.
It's you're going from having a top 2 center in football to having a mid-level center who's unproven at the position. Yeah, there has to be some pause there especially because Frank Ragnow would take single team assignments, and now you're probably going to have to change the assignments to double teams to help out these rookies and these inexperienced players in comparison to Frank Ragnow.
He is our most experienced center at the moment, and I believe he gives us the best shot going forward. So we have the experience, with Glasgow, where he's played center, about half of his NFL career, and that's going to bode well for the play calls, the protections, etc. So just wrap that up. You're not trying to gloss over the Ragnow loss because look, it is huge. He is all pro, and your body can't take it. It can't take it. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to play to the level that he wanted to without going through that much pain again. So look, we got to respect the decision, but we need to move on. Look. Like I said, we can say it until we're blue in the face. Trust in Brad, trust in MCDC, trust that, we're going to continue to have Sonic and Knuckles plus through the line and do their thing. Look, I'm not worried about that. So, again, whether you want to say we're in the, top 10, fine. Top 10 offensive lines can still win the Super Bowl. So, there's only, I think, 2 players that we can't afford to lose this year, and I'm knocking on my desk right now.
So, I want to start off by saying, Frank Ragnow has been my all-time favorite Lion. I am a newer fan, just since 2014, and he embodies everything that I am. So I am going to miss him. Okay, but the reason why I decided to call was because I have my questions about this team winning the Super Bowl before Frank retired, and I still have them after he retired. And all of my questions have everything to do with the defense and nothing to do with the offense.
Okay.
Now, it is going to be harder because, unfortunately, we do not have a mobile quarterback to offset, the interior of our offensive line. And I know Sam loves stats, but last year was floated around a lot that our pass blocking on the O-line was about league average. So, and that was with having Frank. So I don't know how much of a drop-off we could go from league average on the pass blocking. And this is why I wholeheartedly believe our offense should play in the preseason. I'm not saying they should play an entire game, but they should at least play a quarter. And maybe even 2 quarters, or like 2 quarters from 2 separate games. Because we have a whole new offensive coordinator. We practically have a new starting O-line, with three basically new starters. And while I want and I wholeheartedly believe that the way to win the Super Bowl is to have the defense be the star of your team, we cannot start off 0-2. That cannot happen. Not in the division, because we play Green Bay and Chicago, and basically because I dislike those teams and I don't want to start off 0-2.
Sure.